What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I wanted to talk about where I personally believe our world is heading and discuss some SPACs that could be very successful in the next 5 to 10 years. So if you do enjoy this video, please drop a like and hit subscribe. It really helps out the channel a ton. Also get your free stocks in the description when you sign up with Robinhood or Webull, and Webull does have a pretty awesome platform to look at charts with and even set alerts with. So definitely check that out, and also there's a link to our Discord in the description. It's completely free and it's pretty fun. Now let's get into it. In my opinion, I think the world is heading towards everything green, electric vehicles, digital payments, 3D printing, fourth industrial revolution, technology, space, basically anything futuristic that you've been seeing in cartoons and movies for the last, 25 years is coming to fruition now, and we're advancing faster than ever. So keep in mind, I'm not saying to go buy these SPACs or these stocks today. Just keep an eye on them and, see where they're going to go in the future. So SPAC number one for the future would be TRNE, and that is Desktop Metal. Now, I've made a video on this before, and a couple other ones in this video that I've mentioned I've made videos on. So what do? They do 3D printing, and they even will be printing parts for electric vehicles. So why do I think this will be relevant in the future? They have backing from BMW and Ford, and I think these companies see the potential with this technology, and especially when it comes to manufacturing parts for them, that's going to be a pretty big deal. They've recently built a new system that can print up to 100 times faster than the traditional laser printers, and it's the first printer designed for mass production. So this company is extremely innovative and definitely excited to see where they're at in the future. Desktop Metal is a leader in mass production and turnkey additive manufacturing solutions, offering the latest metal 3D printing technology in the market up to 100 times the speed, like I said. This industry is estimated to grow from 12 billion to 146 billion this decade, and it shifts from prototyping to mass production. So this is a Q4 merger, and the ticker symbol will be trading under DM, and this post-transaction equity is valued up to 2.5 billion. This also provides up to 575 million in gross proceeds, comprised of TRNE's 300 million of cash held in the trust and 275 million fully committed common stock PIPE at $10 per share. And this also includes some nice investments from Miller Value Partners, XN, Baron Capital Group, Chamath Palihapitiya, JB Straubel, and HPS Investment Partners. So here's why I am thinking this one's going to be great for the future, and it basically just has to do with how additive enables the future. Like in their investor presentation, it says, has a lot to do with electric and autonomous vehicles, space exploration and services, robotics, defense capabilities, personal and commercial aviation, along with green energy and utilities. So, this is where I really think we're heading, and I think this could be a nice play for the future. So lastly, looking at their financials, you can see they won't be cash flow positive until estimated 2023. But, with these growth companies and they're starting out, this is usually how it goes. You kind of have to invest in your company and really build it up. Also, their adjusted EBITDA won't be positive until 2023 as well. So it's just something to think about. I don't think their financials are too bad or too risky, but maybe you just hold off until their financials get a bit better. So next up on the list is Fvac, and this is MP Materials. And I made a video on this before. So they do rare earth metals mining in the US, which would actually be very beneficial for us because we wouldn't need to use China anymore. So MP Materials currently produces a rare earth concentrate product that represents an estimated 15% of the world's production. As part of the company's growth plan, it will produce refined NdPr, which is the primary rare earth material used in high-strength permanent magnets that power the traction motors inside electric vehicles, wind turbines, robotics, drones, defense systems, and many other high-growth advanced motion technologies. A couple more positive things I really like to hear is that post-transaction, they have an equity valuation of 1.5 billion. MP's the center of electric transportation ecosystem. They're also driving the transition to fully green supply chains for electric transportation. They're cash flow positive today, and this transaction will fully fund their growth strategy, which is amazing to hear. And this is expected to close in the Q4 of 2020. So a couple more reasons why I think this will be relevant and a great play for the future. They're a huge player in EV. They're the only at-scale mine in the US. They're government-backed, and the government looks at this as a security threat. that we are trying to fix. So President Donald Trump signed an executive order aimed at expanding domestic production of rare earth minerals that are vital to many critical manufacturing sectors in an effort to reduce dependence on China. So this is very important to us. Also, clean energy and clean mining is the way we are headed. However, there's some risks. So the mining industry can be tough to succeed in. Other players can enter the market. The government can withdraw subsidies. The EV market could bust. A lot of people are very skeptical that this is becoming an EV bubble. So that's something to keep in mind. And the deal is just a signed agreement. So nothing is guaranteed until this merger is finalized and everything is good to go. So those are just some things to watch out for. Like I said, you don't need to buy into this today, but it's something to watch, and maybe you don't buy in until they're trading under, MP Materials. Last up on the list is going to be SBE, and they're merging with ChargePoint. So they are charging stations for EV. They have over 140,000 charging stations currently available worldwide. They have no debt with $700 million on the balance sheet and less than $350 million projected cash burn by 2025. So that's a pretty low risk of financial troubles. They're the largest charge station provider. As EV grows, so does ChargePoint. And this is just a huge opportunity in EV in general, as ChargePoint works with the leading EV companies. A few more reasons why I like this play, and that's because the charging industry is accelerating, and it is expected that charging infrastructure investment will be $190 billion by 2030. Uber and Lyft cars plan to be electric by 2030 as well. And in 20 years, I think most cars are going to be electric vehicles by then. And ChargePoint is everywhere. Their app makes it super easy to find, and it's much cheaper to charge than Blink. The Tesla Supercharge is quicker on a long trip, but for all other uses, most people are saying ChargePoint is just as good. And charging stations must expand dramatically if EV is going to grow as rapidly as what people are projecting. And, ChargePoint has already shown that they have capability of rapid expansion. And due to their model, they can do so without going into massive debt. So those are just some positives that I see. So a few more reasons why I do truly think this will be a great play in the future. And that has to do with the government's rules and regulations and how they'll be implemented in the near future. So I do know that California governor just signed an order banning sales of new gasoline cars by 2035. And ChargePoint could potentially be huge for EV future growth. This growth will be accelerated by the illegalization of gas vehicles, and EVs projected to be 9.9% of new vehicles sold in 2025 and almost 30% in 2030. So just because California governor did this, I'm not sure the timeline or who will follow, but if I had to guess, there's going to be some other states that follow this, banning. So I do think the revenues will grow nicely, and more states will probably follow California's lead sometime in the future. So some risks and issues with ChargePoint. So there is competition. You have Blink, and then Tesla is always, in my mind as well. More competition will likely enter the market. And will Tesla eventually absorb this idea and put chargers everywhere? I'm not sure. It's just, I like to think like this. Tesla is constantly innovating and a powerhouse in this industry, so they are a big concern. Tesla does have the fastest chargers out there, but I did read that for level 2, ChargePoint seems to do just fine, and there's a lot more of them. And at some point, will installations die down, and how will they make up for that revenue loss? These are just some thoughts that I wrote down, and definitely let me know your thoughts on these. So I did look up what's better, ChargePoint or Blink, and because I don't have an electric vehicle and I have never used these before, I just went to the internet to see some reviews. And from what I gathered, it seems like ChargePoint is better than Blink. So a lot of people said that Blink is not well maintained. Often the chargers are broken or just over expensive. And for ChargePoint, they've never had any issues. The network of EV chargers from ChargePoint are much better, and prices have always seemed more reasonable. So that's just what I've gathered. Definitely let me know your thoughts below. What would you pick? Would you pick Blink or ChargePoint? So that's pretty much what I have on ChargePoint as of right now. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just a couple ideas I had for some future plays. And like I said, I don't think you need to go buy into these today. You could even wait till post-merger. And, I just think it's worth tracking them and putting them on a watch list for a while. Some other honorable mentions for the future EV plays would be obviously Hyliion, Luminar or Graph. It's mainly the concept, and then you're just going to pick which one you like more. And then DPHC, which is going to be Lordstown Motors. So those are all EV related, And, I think a couple of these will be really big in the future, and then some may not be so big. But I'm just going to be watching them for now and see where they go. That's pretty much it. Have a good one.
Stacking vertical, ooh, counting sideways, ooh, ain't by my cake, ooh, get out my